안녕하세요. 부자로 가는 한 걸음 TV입니다. 테슬라를 단순한 전기차 회사로 생각할 것이냐 아니냐에 따라서 테슬라의 주가를 바라보는 관점이 다릅니다. 저는 테슬라를 단순한 전기차 회사로 보는 것이 아니라 차후 실물 AI의 선두 기업, 보험회사, 에너지 회사 등 단순한 전기차 회사가 아닌 앞으로의 가능성이 열려있는 회사라고 생각하고 테슬라를 가장 많은 비중으로 투자하고 있습니다. 현재의 주가 하락은 테슬라에 대한 믿음을 가지고 있는 저에게도 아쉬운 상황이지만 1, 2년 안에 쓸 돈이 아닌 돈으로만 테슬라에 투자하고 있기 때문에 큰 흔들림 없이 계속 홀드하고 있는 상황입니다. 단순한 전기차 회사가 아니라고 생각하는 이유 중 하나는 바로 완전 자율주행과 로보택시 때문인데 24년 4월 6일 일론 머스크는 X를 통해서 8월 8일 로보택시에 대해서 밝힐 것이라고 공지하였습니다. 이와 관련해서 아크 인베스트의 인터뷰가 있어서 그 내용을 번역하였습니다.
So what should we expect on August 8th here in the great reveal?
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right that, one common criticism of Tesla is that they've been talking about robotaxis for a long time. And the question is, okay, well, where is it? Well, I actually think we've seen a lot of progress over the past few years, notably in their full self-driving software that they released to consumers, and they just took that out of beta mode, right, and allowed a lot more people access to the latest version of the software. And what we're seeing in the videos that many people are posting online is that it's already possible to complete, nearly full drives fully autonomously, right? So there's still someone behind the wheel, they have their hands there just in case. It's not perfect, so that, it's not quite perfect yet, but I think that we're closer than ever. And I think that, we take confidence in all the improvements that we've seen in AI over the past few years as well. I mean, that has to help autonomous driving. We do see early elements of some things, some improvements that we've seen from large language models, for instance, bleeding over into the development work that's happening for autonomous driving. So we're really more excited than ever. I mean, we think this is going to drive the future value of Tesla when we look out 5 years. We think it'll be 2/3 of the enterprise value in 5 years. So we're super excited about it. Can't wait for August.
And Tasha, 2/3 of it is going to be driven by robotaxis, correct?
Correct.
2/3 of the value.
Exactly.
Tasha, when using history as a guide here, from when Elon Musk has unveiled prototypes in the past, and then the timeline between that to when Tesla actually starts production, what does that timeline look like? And do you think it's going to be a similar type of timeline this time around?
Yeah, so they've said that they were planning on mass producing this car in 2025. We have heard a few things. There's I think two kind of separate things here, right? There's what they're talking about is the $25,000 car, which I think could actually be the same platform as robotaxi, and it's a question of like whether or not that's a car for the consumer versus just these cars are going in fleets that are then being operated by Tesla and potentially longer term an operating partner that owns and maintains the vehicles for robotaxis. So I think, that it's totally possible that potentially could be delayed from the initial timeline. But the real question is actually when the software will be ready, right? Because the Teslas that are on the road today already have the capability to be turned into fully autonomous vehicles, once those software updates are layered on and sent over the air. So I think, whether or not, the robotaxi prototype that we see gets unveiled on time is a question of when will they launch the robotaxi network. So I think that this announcement shows their confidence in that platform, which is really exciting. So that's what we're looking for the next 5 years. When can I take my hands off the wheel in my Tesla? And I think it'll be sooner than you expect.
I've been talking about this for 10 years on these programs, so it's nice to hear that it's finally imminent. Can you talk to us about the importance of IP that Elon Musk has talked about previously, and how IP is key to full-service driving, which is key to your investment thesis here that is 2/3 robotaxis. What is the moat that Elon Musk has established for Tesla in the domain of intellectual property?
I'm so glad you asked that question because this is really what we're most excited about for Tesla's opportunity in autonomous driving. They have an unparalleled data advantage compared to every other company that's solving for full autonomy. They just released on Twitter a graph showing the number of miles that that customers have driven in full self-driving. We think that they get, access to roughly 2.5 million miles a day of customer data that they can potentially use to train their system. I mean, when you look at companies like Waymo, that are like passing roughly like a little over 10 million miles in the total lifetime of the project versus 2.5 million a day. I mean, that's unprecedented. And data is really key here in a lot of AI applications, proprietary data. And so we think that this is what could allow Tesla to be one of the first companies to scale. And that's really important because we think that the majority of the economics in robotaxis, and this is actually in our latest Big Ideas deck that we published this year, our annual research deck, the majority of the economics will accrue to the players who are able to tackle, the first half of urban miles traveled. With autonomous driving platforms. So I think, Tesla's both production scale, the number of cars on the road, as well as that data advantage, really, they're a dangerous competitor here. So I'd be nervous if I was another autonomous driving company.
영상의 핵심은 다음과 같습니다. 앞으로 로보택시가 테슬라 가치의 3분의 1을 차지할 것이며 로보택시 분야에서 테슬라는 엄청난 양의 데이터를 매일 받고 있기 때문에 웨이모와 같은 다른 경쟁사와는 비교가 되지 않는다는 것입니다. 실제로 얼마 전 일론 머스크는 X를 통해 FSD가 1빌리언 마일 이상의 데이터를 받았다고 이야기하고 있으며 테슬라 차량을 통해서 지속적으로 자료를 받고 있기 때문에 다른 회사들은 범접하기 어려운 수준의 차이를 만들고 있다고 생각합니다. 23년 여름에 아크 인베스트먼트에서 발표한 로보택시 산업에 대한 자료를 보면 그 제목부터 로보택시가 여태까지 있었던 그 어떤 혁신보다도 더 큰 차이를 만들어낼 것이라고 발표하고 있습니다. 로보택시 산업이 있을 경우 없을 때보다 2030년 기준으로 GDP가 20% 정도 더 추가로 성장할 것으로 예상하고 있습니다. 그 누구도 정확하게 알 수는 없으나 만약 로보택시가 안정화되고 산업화될 수 있다면 과거 일론 머스크가 동일한 자동차에서 5배의 추가적인 가치가 생길 수 있을 것이라고 이야기했던 것이 현실화된다면 장기적으로 이는 분명히 테슬라의 주가에 반영될 것입니다. 앞으로 로보택시 산업에 대한 추가적인 자료가 있으면 차후 다시 업로드하겠습니다. 이 영상이 도움이 되었다면 구독, 좋아요, 알림 설정 부탁드립니다. 감사합니다.